Hey guys, I forgot to mention this, so I thought I would just insert this before the video kicked off. I just wanted to introduce Adam Rodriguez, or the Art of AWR. He is a really cool guy. He's a really outrageous person, and he recently sent me a package which I did a whole video for. I will have it linked down below in case you're wondering or wanted to check it out. But he sent me a bunch of these small comic or magazines which are called Zines. And I just wanted to say thank you. I will have his channel linked down below, so highly recommend Adam as always. I will have his channel linked down below, so check him out. So I'll have his channel and his website linked down below as well. And I just wanted to say as well, thank you so much for sending me this, Adam. I'm not sure if I said it in my unboxing video. I probably did, but thank you so much. I know you didn't send these to me because you wanted to promote your work through my channel. You did it because you're a kind individual, and thank you so much. And I didn't even know that these are your artwork. I didn't even know that you had a website. So thank you so much. Hey guys, so today I thought I would do a review, or kind of a mini discussion rather, of the comic that I got from Adam Rodriguez, aka the Art of AWR. And this one is called Pinocchio and Mr. Hyde Volume 1. Overall, I was really impressed by this. This was entirely done by Adam, both the artwork and the story as well. So it's really cool. And I'm just going to show you some of the artwork. And yeah, it's really cool. It's got this hand-drawn style to it, which was fair enough. It's probably how it was done. But yeah, it's really, really cool. It's set up in a nice little comic book style, so you're familiar with it if you've ever picked up a comic. But this focuses around Pinocchio finding his father, Geppetto, murdered. And even though this doesn't have any colour in it, it does have quite a bit of blood and violence. And it does touch on people taking their own lives, so trigger warning about that. But Pinocchio has been found accused of murdering his father, or suspected murdering his father. So he's been put in a cell with this other guy and this other figure lying down sleeping next to him. And we find out that this man, who is a big, beefy guy, is the father of Candlewick, who I thought was called Lambwick in the movie. For those of you who are a little bit confused about who I meant or mean, if you've seen the original Pinocchio movie, he is the kind of best friend of Pinocchio, the one guy that stays with him throughout Pleasure Island and gets turned into a donkey in that famous scene where they're playing pool and he suddenly turns into a donkey. But his father has accused him of murdering his son, which in this one is called Candlewick, and I was pretty sure he's called Lampwick in the movie. I'm not sure. But anyway, no matter what Pinocchio tries to say or do, it won't change this person's mind, and he tries to murder Pinocchio. But at that moment, we find out that the person in the cell is Mr. Hyde. And he gets up and he helps out Pinocchio by dealing with his problem with Candlewick or Lampwick or whoever's father, and deals with him. And that's kind of where the story leaves off. There is a part of the book where they're both executed, but they, come back to life. Well, sort of anyway. At this point, Pinocchio is a real boy, but because he's been executed, the good fairies turned him back into a wooden boy. And yeah, Mr. Hyde and Pinocchio form a kind of, I won't say friendship, I think bond's probably the best word. And yeah, they just walk off into the sunset. So this was really, really enjoyable, really short and sweet. I love all the extra stuff that Adam puts into his graphic novels. You know, you have all this stuff at the back. Well, not graphic novel, comic book or zine or whatever it's called, and all the stuff at the back as well. And yeah, there's all this extra added detail that he puts into it to make it more enjoyable to get through. So I've just recently finished the first volume of A Tale to Terrify, and yeah, this was really cool. This is the one with the skeleton or skeletons in the graveyard reading a book, which is really cool. And this one is called The Hermit Crab. So, and this one is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. So I'm not entirely sure what story this is based on, but I really enjoyed it. So let me just show you the artwork and the story, which was completely done by Adam. So this is all really cool artwork. And I think this one was slightly smaller than the Pinocchio story that I read, but it was still enjoyable. I mean, you could tell the detail in the man's face or the main character's face when he's up close, but when he's farther or further away, he gets less detailed. So this focuses around our main character called Herman Krebs, who the neighbouring kids, I think it's the kids, yeah, make fun of his name by calling him the Hermit Crab. And in response to this, he takes hermit crabs off the beach and throws them onto a fire. There's no real reason for him doing this, but when a kid inquires about this, he basically says, well, life's shitty to the small things. When it comes to the character of Herman, we don't really know much about him, so he's kind of left open. We don't really know if he's a homeless man or if he's a wealthy man or if he's a family man or much about him. It's kind of left up to the reader's interpretation of who he is and where he comes from. But he does have a shack which is, well, looks very nice and not run down. But one day when Herman is going and walking along the beach, he comes across this strange barrel and it's full, and I don't know why, but he perceives it to be whiskey inside. So thinking that he's found a whole barrel full of whiskey, he can sell it and get some money off of it. So when he gets these men to come over, which are called bootleggers, we don't really have that term over here in the UK, but basically what they are is two dudes that have come over to see him and wanting to buy this barrel. But when they open it up, what's inside? Is it whiskey or is it something else entirely? I mean, I know, but I want to form some sort of like mystery, behind what's in this barrel. But ultimately, it's a great story. It's a great ending, and I had a lot of fun reading it. It was really, really good. I did enjoy this one more than the Pinocchio one, and I do not know whether all the Tales to Terrify follow the same characters. I hope not, but this one I really, really enjoyed. So issue 1 of A Tale to Terrify, really enjoyed it. Hey guys, I wasn't expecting to make this section today or this soon, but I just finished reading the second volume of A Tale to Terrify, and I thought I'd just talk about it. So the cover is really, really interesting. It's got this kind of a underwater scene to it, and unlike volume 1, which is still a really, really awesome cover, this one doesn't tell you anything about the story. This is kind of just a cool picture that has nothing to do with what the story is all about in volume 1. But in volume 2, this does have somewhat of a relevance to the story. So this one is called The Old Pump. And yeah, there we go. Ooh, yeah. And this one, even though it does have a quote from H.P. Lovecraft, this one doesn't really specify that this one was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. But I am going to say that it is because the main character, who is a diver called, what's his name? Edwards. When he's diving, he finds a statue which looks like Cthulhu. You know, the statue Cthulhu. And let me just show you the real, just to show you the whole thing. But it's really cool. And we don't really know much about Edward. We don't need to. But he's a diver. He's in his old school diving suit. And yeah, it's the artwork there. And again, it's really awesome. And don't show you that. It shows you a spoiler. But yeah. Oh. And Edward loves diving. We know that about him. That's the only thing that we do know about him. We don't even know what he looks like. But again, we don't have to. But anyway, he's diving, and his wife, Lily, is manning the pump, which is basically this thing, which she does in order to give Edward air to actually breathe underwater. And Edward is described about loving three things. One, his dog Rags. Two, his wife Lily. And three, just walking down in the depths of the ocean. But as I said, when he's down there, he discovers this old statue, this mysterious statue, which I'm going to say is the statue called Cthulhu from the H.P. Lovecraft mythos or stories or whatever. Anyway, one day Lily decides to have enough. She's done with it. She's not happy with her marriage. And she decides to willingly stop pumping, knowing full well that it's going to kill Edward. So many years have passed, 10 years to be exact. And life has moved on. She's moved on. We don't really know much about Lily, but like Edward, we don't really need to. But one day she hears a strange noise coming from the shed, and when she investigates it, she comes across something really terrifying. No pun intended. That's really unexpected. I won't say what it is because it's a spoiler, but it's really good. Not as good as Volume 1, but I still had a lot of fun reading it. Another thing I forgot to mention that Adam does in all of his zines, or comic books, or whatever you want to call them, I'm going to call them comic books, is they have a kind of a note at the back from Adam saying about a little bit about the story and where it came from and all that. I would love it if he went and discussed his thought process and how he got his inspiration and all that stuff. But yeah, and there's always ads at the back about future episodes or volumes or whatever. So yeah, Volume 2 of A Tale to Terrify, not as good as Volume 1, but slightly better than Pinocchio. Hey guys, I'm doing quite well with finishing these zines. I thought I would read the third one. This was directly after number 2, so yeah, thought I would read A Tale to Terrify, Volume 3. This is the last zine I currently have from Adam. I've got more on the way, so no worries there. But this one, the cover has something to do with the overall story. It doesn't give too much away, but the cover has a theme that the story shares, if that made any sense. So this story is called Henry the Hostage. And let me just show you some of the pictures in this, or the art. Seems a bit, I don't really want to say the word basic, but with Adam's drawing style in his comics is that if the character is far away or at a distance, then there's not much detail in the person's face, but when they are close up, or if it's a really intense scene, then he will add more details to the expressions in the face. So this focuses around a character called Henry, who is coming home from, I don't know, like work or shopping or seeing his mistress or whatever. But he's coming back home and he gets, I won't say assaulted, but he comes across these three desperate criminals that hold him up at knife point and tell him that they will take him, that he will take them into the house and be a good host. And basically when the police come around asking about them, then he will say that he hasn't seen them. So basically it's like a hideout thing. One of the main characters, or the main leader of this group, tells Henry that he has to write a goodbye note, the ultimate goodbye note. You know what I mean. I don't really want to say that particular word on here in case I get into trouble. And everything that Henry has been told to do, he agrees to it. He doesn't struggle. He doesn't argue with the criminals. He willingly says, yep, I will do it. That's fantastic. I will do whatever you want. He doesn't beg for his life or anything like that. He's just very agreeable. So when the criminals are searching the house, because they probably want to try rob Henry at one point, they come across a secret room that reveals all these answers about who Henry is, because I don't really want to say, but there's a massive reveal at the end. Henry is a recurring character in Zines, and it's a massive reveal at the end. It's not really mind-blowing. I kind of guessed who Henry was right at the start, but it was still a very nice ending and big reveal at the end. I think I like this one on the same level as volumes 2 and 3. I like them at the same level, so I'll probably rate these as number 1 of A Tale to Terrify. I really liked the best. Volumes 2 and 3, I liked second, and then at the bottom, which is still good, I like the Pinocchio story. So that's how I rate them. But I still enjoy them all, and I can't wait to read more from Adam. I will have his channel linked down below, as well as a link to his website where you can buy all these wonderful zines and other stickers and all other fantastic artwork from Adam. He's a really cool guy, and yeah, I just love his artwork, and his stuff is really easy to read. You can read it in one sitting, about like 5 minutes or so. So I would highly recommend his channel, highly recommend his artwork, highly recommend his zines, and hopefully this has maybe encouraged some people to go over there and check his channel out and his website out. He does have a shop on his website where you can buy these zines and anything else, like stickers and magnets and everything else. And yeah, he's a really great guy, and I hope I've encouraged at least one person to go over to his channel and buy some of his zines, because I really enjoy them, and I think that you will too, especially if you are a horror fan. These are for us. These are horror comics. So that's it, guys. That's all I had to say. Thank you for watching this. I wanted to do separate little clips for these individual comics or zines, and there will be more on the way. So please let me know if you're interested in reading these, if I've encouraged you to pick them up and to give them a try, because they are awesome. They're a lot of fun. And yeah, with all that out the way, I'll see you on my next one.